My name is Jen Rubens. Welcome back to our morning book buzz. We're so thrilled to have you here. We're honored to talk to you this week about more books, and so welcome. And we're going to kick it off by introducing our team, and we have a special guest today. So let's take it away. Oh, I think we're on the wrong slide. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. We're so thrilled to be here. I'm Jen Childs.
And I'm Maureen Meekins. Thanks for tuning in today.
And I'm Kristen Pizzoli, Senior Marketing Manager for the Education and Library Markets at PK. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's exciting.
So just a quick reminder, we know you know this, but here is our hashtag. Please use it. We love when you engage with us and love to hear what you have to say. So PRH Morning Buzz is the hashtag, and then there's our key so you can see all of the many formats that these titles are available in.
And I just wanted to take a moment to say, obviously we took a pause last week. Like the rest of the country, we were shocked and saddened by what was going on, the events that were unfolding around us, and we just didn't feel able to go on with business as usual. Like many librarians out there, we've been really focused on curating and sharing resources that we think can help readers during this troubling time. I think, there have been many statements out there, but one of the ones that resonated the most with me was what the Random House Publishing Group said on their website. They said, "In these uncertain times, we have always found wisdom in books and courage from our authors, but recent events have highlighted the need for all of us to do better. To paraphrase Angela Davis, it's not enough to be not racist, we must be anti-racist. We hope our resources can teach, inspire, and strengthen. Our list is not exhaustive by any means, but it's a place to start, and we look forward to learning, listening, and growing alongside you all." I hope you'll take a look at the Penguin Random House corporate socials. We're doing some concrete things to address how we do business, including things like auditing our title list, making a commitment to increase our publishing of diverse titles, and investing in organizations like We Need Diverse Books. And please, we want to hear from you too. You can always email us at library@penguinrandomhouse.com with suggestions, with comments, with criticisms. So we're open to it all. We're not perfect, and we're going to do our best, as I say, to do better going forward. So we do have quite a few resources for you. Again, not exhaustive, but there are so many books that can really help people understand this moment. And if we go on to the next slide, you'll see some URLs where we have some title lists that you can use to build your own lists that we hope will be helpful for you. And if we've missed key titles, again, we hope that you'll let us know. We're doing our best to really create as many resources as we can to be helpful.
And I'll mention in the audiobook link, there are a lot of children's titles as well. We included titles for all ages, so that can be a resource for that as well.
Great. And then, in the spirit of this, our question for the week is one for you. What books are you recommending right now to celebrate and amplify Black voices, or audiobooks, as Jen would remind us? We're really curious to know what you see as essential reads. Please, share them to Twitter. They'll be in our survey at the end of our program, as will all of our resource links. So if you missed writing down any of the links, we'll send them out afterwards.
And all of us at Penguin Random House are still working hard to bring our authors to your patrons. And here are some of the many virtual author events that you can see going on this week, including Kristen Higgins, Eric Larson, Wes Moore, and Nancy Thayer. You can check out the most up-to-date schedule each week at prh.com/BooksConnectUsLive, and archive videos can also be found there so that if you missed a live event, you can watch it at your own convenience.
We were thrilled to participate in Day of Dialogue a couple of weeks ago. Thanks to everyone who joined us, who explored our booths. We had a lot of fun putting them together. And again, like Jen said, we want to hear from you. We had lots of lists, and we hope you'll continue exploring and seeing what we had to offer. So you can see the archive there if you want to register. It's free. One thing I would recommend, I really enjoyed, SLJ had a fantastic keynote with Ibram Kendi and Jason Reynolds, and it's actually available on their site for anyone without even registering. But I think that's just an indication of the rich content that is available. And once you see that, I think you'll definitely want to register and explore a bit more. They had a lot of really wonderful things going on.
And in the spirit of Day of Dialogue, we did continue virtually with our 29th, it's hard to believe, it was our 29th annual author breakfast with Library Journal. We had some amazing authors, and it's just a half an hour long, so if you have some time to hear from some amazing authors, please do check out the link on YouTube. It's available through our Day of Dialogue booth, but you can watch it just on YouTube as well, and you don't even have to get up early to see it. And then we also, since we're kind of missing the trade shows, and we know one of the things librarians have told us that they appreciate the most is getting to meet authors and to hear from the authors themselves about their new books. We put together a kind of video series of 30 authors with forthcoming books, and they're all just about 3 minutes long, really kind of short, but we asked them to just say hello to librarians and to kind of give a quick book talk on their new book. So you can follow the tiny URL here, PRH Meet the Author, to see these wonderful author videos and to find out about their new books. Were some that I think you have been really anticipating, like Rachel Joyce's new one, or The Butterfly Lampshade from Amy Bender, who I know it's been quite a long time since her last book. So please check them out. And then for all of you who cannot get enough of us buzzing, I can't believe you're not sick of us yet. We did do a fall staff picks buzz to feature on our Day of Dialogue booth. So if you're having a day where you're like, I just miss the faces of our Penguin Random House library marketing friends, please log on to YouTube and you can watch our LJ buzz.
And of course, happy Pride Month. We've put together a few inspiring and even delicious reads that celebrate and give voice to the LGBTQ community. So I'll start with Tasty Pride. It's a cookbook featuring 75 innovative recipes compiled by Jessie Suzik, Tasty's senior food writer, and other inspiring stories from prominent LGBTQ cooks and foodies. So it's super fun. It has highly original recipes that range from everything bagel beignets by Alex Coons, scallop with grilled polenta, bacon, and arugula by Ted Allen, fudgy miso brownies by Ruby Tando, and taste like wedding cake sprinkle cookie sandwiches, which sound amazing right now, by Brian Hart Hoffman. So it's true to Tasty standards. They are just as innovative as they are doable, and you'll find stories of love, pride, and acceptance, and the important role that food can play in that journey. So definitely on the list for Pride Month. And we have Ferris by Meredith Tallison. This is a singular, beautifully written coming-of-age memoir of a Filipino boy with albinism whose story travels from an immigrant childhood to Harvard to a gender transition and illuminates the illusions of race, disability, and gender. And throughout her journey, Taliesin shares poignant and powerful episodes of desirability and love that will remind readers of works like Call Me by Your Name and Giovanni's Room. And Meredith Taliesin is an award-winning author and journalist who has written for The Guardian, The New York Times, The Atlantic, and Condé Nast Traveler. She's received awards from the Society of Professional Journalists and the National Lesbian Gay Journalists Association. She's also the founding executive editor of Them, which is Condé Nast LGBTQ digital platform, where she's currently a contributing editor. And Gerard Conley, author of Boy Erased, says, "Everything here feels true and necessary. It's a rare literary accomplishment. I'll recommend this book to my queer family and to students who want to know why we continue to believe in the power of memoir." So a lot going on here. Really great read. Definitely recommending for patrons. And the next one is for fans of Blue is the Warmest Color, Notes on a Scandal, and The Price of Salt. It's They Say Sarah by Pauline Delabroy Allard. It's a poetic, thrilling debut that charts the all-consuming passion between two women and the ruin that it leaves in its wake. Pauline Delabroy Allard is already a literary sensation in France, and this book is going to mark the launch of her big career in the U.S. And in this novel, in gorgeous, provocative prose, she perfectly captures the pull of a desire so strong that it blinds us to everything else. And moving on to Love After Love by Ingrid Prasad, an award-winning Trinidadian author. This book is for readers of Jamaica Kincaid, Edwidge Danticat, and Zadie Smith. It's an electrifying novel of love in its messiest forms, a complicated marriage, an unconventional family, and the shocking secrets that unite them. Prasad's writing is addictive. She's a Commonwealth Short Story Prize winner and a BBC Short Story Award winner for her first short story she's ever written. And the book is engaging. It's filled with the spirit and magnetism of the Trinidadian dialect as well. So a lot of diversity going on here and a step into a culture that you may not be familiar with. And it wouldn't be a Pride Month list without Trixie and Katya from RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm sure we have a lot of fans that are watching this right now. Trixie and Katya's Guide to Modern Womanhood is the comical, bizarre, and heartwarming book that their fans have been waiting for, featuring essays and how-to sections peppered with hilarious and gorgeous photos, and the dynamic duo tackling topics like money, self-love, and personal hygiene with sections titled, Are You Poor?, Autoerotic Appreciation, and my personal favorite, Whoops, I'm Disgusting, which is the title they use to teach personal hygiene. So basically, it's everything you'd expect and more from these two, and I'm sure there will be a lot of demand, so keep an eye out.
And keep an ear out, too, because who else could narrate the audiobook? They actually go into the studio this week, so we're going to be thrilled.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, who else could narrate this book? Come on.
Really, nobody. I know.
I know. And you'll be happy to know the other titles that have audiobooks, Fairest and Love After Love, are also author-read. So, talk about bringing a memoir to life truly in a visceral way. It's really amazing to be able to hear directly from these authors as well if your patrons want that format.
And I'll also mention that we didn't have a cover to show, but Carolina Di Robertis' Cantores, the Stonewall Award winner, will be coming out in Spanish at the end of the summer. So that's a perfect read to offer your Spanish-speaking patrons. And on to book clubs. We're thrilled for a new title from book club favorite Jodi Picoult. She returns with another amazing, discussable story, The Book of Two Ways. Everything changes in a single moment for Dawn Edelstein. She's on a plane when the flight attendant makes an announcement, prepare for a crash landing. She braces herself as thoughts flash through her mind. But the shocking thing is the thoughts are not of her husband, but a man she last saw 15 years ago, Wyatt Armstrong. Dawn miraculously survives the crash, but so do all the doubts that have suddenly been raised. After the crash landing, the airline ensures the survivors are seen by a doctor and then offers them transportation for wherever they want to go. Her obvious option is to continue down the path she's on and go home to her family. The other is to return to the archaeological site she left years before, reconnect with Wyatt and their unresolved history, and maybe even complete her research on the Book of Two Ways, which is the first known map of the afterlife. As the story unfolds, Dawn's two possible futures unspool side by side, as do the secrets and doubts long buried beside them. As you can see, this is available as an e-galley. Please do check it out. This will be quite a big book for the fall. And then Wildland. This is an exhilarating debut novel, perfect for fans of Jodi Picoult and Anita Shreve. When Kat Jameson retreats to the Blue Ridge Mountains, she's counting on peace and solitude to help her make a very difficult decision. Her breast cancer has returned, but after the death of her husband, her will to fight is just dampened. She has a choice to make: face another round of chemotherapy or just surrender gracefully. Self-reflection proves impossible, though, as her getaway is complicated by a pair of abandoned dogs and two friendly children staying nearby. In no time at all, her quiet seclusion is invaded by happy confusion with children and pets. But when lightning ignites a deadly wildfire, Kat's cabin's cut off from the rest of the camp, which is separating the children from their parents. Kat must help them and the dogs flee on foot through the drought-stricken forest away from the ravenous flames. This is a heart-pounding novel of bravery, sacrifice, and self-discovery. It will keep you on the edge of your seat to the very last page. Then The Sight of You. This booklet says of this book, fans of The Light We Lost and The Time Traveler's Wife will fall hard for this heartbreaking but ultimately life-affirming novel. I'll warn you that every review I've read of this said to have your tissues handy. Joel has sworn off falling in love, but when he meets Callie, he can't help being drawn to her. In Callie, he sees a second chance of life, and in Joel, Callie discovers a kind of love she'd always hoped was real. But Joel has a secret. He dreams about the people he loves, and these dreams always come true. One night, Joel has the dream of Callie he's feared the most, and each must decide, can Callie stay knowing her fate? And if her days must be numbered, is there a life she's meant to live? This book's told in Joel and Callie's voices. The Sight of You is a sweeping, romantic, and unforgettable American debut about the bravery it takes to love, especially when we know how the story will end. A Publishers Weekly starred review said, a stunning and gracefully written tearjerker about destiny, dreams, and selfless love. Heartbreaking and life-affirming, readers should be prepared to cry. Next up, Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Jessie. We were so thrilled to have the chance to meet Ya at PLA. She's just lovely. Her new book is very different than her debut novel, Homegoing. This is a story of Gifty. She's a sixth-year PhD candidate in neuroscience at Stanford University School of Medicine. She's studying reward-seeking behavior in mice and the neural circuits of depression and addiction. Her brother, Nano, was a gifted high school athlete who died of a heroin overdose after an ankle injury left him hooked on Oxycontin. Her suicidal mother is living in her bed. Gifty is determined to discover the scientific basis for the suffering she sees all around her, but even as she turns to the hard sciences to unlock the mystery of her family's loss, she finds herself hungering for her childhood faith and grappling with the evangelical church in which she was raised, whose promise of salvation remains as tantalizing as it is elusive. A Library Journal starred review said, though it's a departure from her gorgeous historical debut, Homegoing, which was the winner of the NBCC's John Leonard Prize, Jessie's contemporary novel of a woman's struggle for connection in a place where science and faith are at odds is a piercingly beautiful tale of love and forgiveness. And then finally, Eliza starts a rumor. Here, the author of 9 Women, One Dress, which was a delightful read if you haven't had a chance to read it, Here she delivers a charming, unforgettable novel about 4 women, one little lie, and the big repercussions that unite them all. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. When Eliza Hunt created the Hudson Valley Ladies Bulletin Board 15 years ago, she was happily entrenched in her picture-perfect suburban life with her husband and twin preschoolers. But now, with an empty nest and a crippling case of agoraphobia, the once fun hobby has become her lifeline. So when a rival parenting forum threatens the site's existence, she doesn't think twice before fabricating a salacious rumor to spark things up a bit. But of course, it doesn't take long before that spark becomes a flame. Katie Couric said, "A smart, engaging treat for Big Little Lies fans, the perfect summer read." And a Booklist review claims, "This fresh and funny book balances an array of tough topics with humor and a cast of relatable characters." So there you go, something for many different types of book clubs.
Yeah, and it's funny, I loved 9 Women, One Dress, and that's a great backlist audio if you want to recommend to anybody. It has 9 different narrators, and it's just a whole lot of fun to hear all those different characters come to life. This next one, Eliza Starts a Rumor, will be read by Lisa Flanagan, and I'm so excited. It was just announced this week that Transcendent Kingdom will be narrated by Bonnie Turpin, who, if you're not familiar with her, is a 2-time Odyssey Award-winning audiobook narrator, one of the best, and she'll be incredible bringing this to life. And then The Sight of You also has 2 narrators, lovely British voice actors, so it really just brings this to life in, a beautiful way. And, you'll still need those tissues, because I listened to a clip yesterday, actually, and I was like, oh my God, just the descriptions in these beautiful voices is just really fun to hear. So
Right.
There you go.
And then I'll just mention, we tried to pick a variety of books for various book clubs, but if we didn't, hit the right book for your club, we have a lot of resources online. Our brand new book club brochure just dropped. You can find it on our issue page. You'll see the URL there. This is a great resource because it highlights a variety of book club picks and also includes sample discussion questions. So it'll kind of give you an idea of ways to steer the dialogue in your club. It also includes some adult books for young adults. We have some Spanish language book club reads. So it's really a valuable resource, and we've heard from a lot of librarians that they use it quite a bit. We also have our Celebrate Diverse Voices listing, which highlights specifically diverse, while we of course have some in our regular book club catalog, this really focuses on just diverse voices. So check it out. That also lives on our issue page. And then we also have a variety of really great book club kits for a lot of our books, and these have everything from author interviews to questions to recipes, things to liven up a book club meeting. So check it out. There's a lot of great stuff on our issue page. Please do take a look.
Hi again, everyone. I'm so glad to have this opportunity to share 10 exciting DK titles with you. Some are forthcoming and some are currently available. So let's jump in. The first and most prominent you'll see here is The Secret Explorers and the Lost Whales. This is something very exciting and special for us at DK. In just a couple of weeks, we will release this title and a second in the series. And this is a brand new fiction chapter book series for kids ages 7 to 9. Yes, fiction. That's not our typical approach at DK, so we're really excited for it. So The Secret Explorers are a group of 8 culturally diverse children from around the world who each have expertise in a different area, like engineering or dinosaurs, for example. These brilliant kids come together to fix problems, solve mysteries, and gather knowledge all over the planet and beyond. Whenever their help is needed, a special compass symbol appears on a door. They step through to the exploration station and receive their mission. But we couldn't stray too far from the traditional DK way, of course. So these books do have black and white illustrations throughout, and they do teach nonfiction principles through their engaging and adventurous fictional stories. The first two in the series are available July 7th. So again, that's The Secret Explorers and the Lost Whales, which you see here, and The Secret Explorers and the Comet Collision. In The Lost Whales, marine life expert Connor needs to use his underwater expertise to help save a pod of humpback whales that have lost their way. Along with space expert Roshni, he sets out in a submarine to search for a way to steer the whales back on track, but encounters unexpected problems along the way, including lost baby whales and a fleet of boats. Will the Secret Explorers manage to succeed in their mission? Well, you'll just have to pick it up to find out. And there is an e-galley available on NetGalley, and we've gotten great reviews so far. So we're really excited to hear from you on that one. Next up, we have another new and exciting adventure for DK. This is our first series of graphic novels with a nonfiction focus this time and perfect for kids ages 9 to 12. Welcome to Corpse Talk, the talk show with a twist. All the guests are dead. All the guests are dead. Your host is comic book artist Adam Murphy, and he interviews 18 groundbreaking individuals from history in each book. Groundbreaking Women, pictured here, is one of the first two titles in the series, both available in August. The other is Corpse Talk, Groundbreaking Scientists. In Groundbreaking Women, kids will learn how Harriet Tubman managed to escape from slavery and help so many others to do so, why Anne Frank was forced to go into hiding, and so much more. Bold and expressive illustrations by Adam and Lisa Murphy bring historical events to life, literally, while humorous text makes learning about history fun. Some full-page illustrations give more detail on the history behind the individual stories, and special features, including maps and diagrams, provide background and additional opportunity for learning. This new graphic novel series will keep kids laughing as they learn, and that's the best combination. Next up, we have another new series for us, a lot of new good stuff here, and a must-have for the school year, Super Simple. This series is intended for the upper middle and high school group, and with plans to grow over time, will focus on STEM subjects. The first two, available now, are Super Simple Chemistry and Super Simple Biology, which you see here. Within, each topic is fully illustrated to support the information, make the facts crystal clear, and bring the science to life. A large central image explains the idea visually, and each topic is summed up on a single page, helping kids to quickly get up to speed and really understand how biology works. Information boxes further explain concepts with the help of simple graphics, and handy key facts boxes provide a simple summary kids can easily reference again and again. Super Simple Biology and the other titles in this series will prove a fantastic aid for schoolwork, homework, and studying for tests, especially as we contend with the very real possibility that homeschooling may continue this fall. Next generation science standards are covered, and I should emphasize that these books are not consumable, so they are a nice fit for the library. And this series is produced in association with the Smithsonian Institution. In addition to the currently available Super Simple Chemistry, which is not pictured here, and Super Simple Biology, of course, titles planned for the future include Super Simple Physics and Super Simple Math. I'm going to work right to left now because I know you've probably been eyeing this next one in the bottom right corner. Out this August is the next title from Caldecott Medal winning author and illustrator David Macaulay, Mammoth Science. And his trademark mammoths are back too, to explain science to kids ages 9 to 12. From the interior of an atom to the solar system and beyond, the mammoths seek to understand 70 different scientific principles across biology, chemistry, and physics, with one principle explored on each 2-page spread. These intrepid science demonstrators go to incredible lengths to educate and entertain, and often find themselves in a predicament. They wrestle with magnets to understand their powerful force, make mammoth models of different materials to explore what gives them mass, and step into an X-ray machine to reveal the bones beneath their woolly exteriors. Throughout the book, small side panels contain diagrams, and everyday examples aid in understanding. Renowned for his ability to explain complex ideas with simple genius, Macaulay captures the oddball humor of his subject matter, making mammoth science the perfect introduction to scientific principles for the young and for the young at heart, and a must-have for your collection as we head into the new school year. We'll shift younger now and focus on a brand new preschool board book. Oh, can you go back to the other slide, the previous slide? Thank you. So this is a board book capturing the importance of social emotional learning, even from such a young age. How Do I Feel serves as an ideal introduction to key emotions, anger, pride, happiness, and sadness, and portrays each one as an emoji-style character and describes some of the reasons we feel certain feelings and why our brains and bodies react the way they do. This book is unique because of its simple and easy to understand approach to explaining emotions, as well as its clear, direct questions like, why do we hide our faces when we're shy? Which stimulate discussion and guide young readers towards greater emotional understanding. From a little flame representing anger to a radiant sun for happiness, each page of this colorful board book features fun illustrations to keep kids engaged as they learn basic scientific facts about feelings through simple text that's ideal for reading aloud. This book is available now, and an eGalley is available on NetGalley for your review.
I could have used that book this morning with my own.
Well, download it right away on NetGalley.
I will.
Okay, can you advance to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to attempt some Italian here. I called my aunt whose parents are from Sicily yesterday to get some pronunciation advice. So let's see how I do. Okay, so featured most prominently here is the Sicily Cookbook, which recently received a starred review from Publishers Weekly. Join Sicilian cook, writer, and photographer Cettina Vincenzino as she shares more than 70 authentic and mouth-watering recipes from this unique Mediterranean island. While only a few miles from Italy, Sicily's heritage is proudly distinct from that of the mainland, favoring dishes packed with spices, citrus fruits, cheeses, olives, tomatoes, eggplants, and seafood. Featuring 3 strands of Sicilian cooking: cucina povera, which is peasant food, cibo di strada, which is street food, and cucina di monsù, which is sophisticated food. This cookbook has easy-to-follow cooking instructions that include preparation times, as well as stunning full-page food photography with atmospheric scenes of Sicilian architecture and landscapes that will inspire and transport cooks into the Mediterranean sunshine. And with feature profiles on local chefs and food producers, the Sicily Cookbook invites readers to gain an even deeper understanding of the island's culinary culture. With restaurants closed in so many areas throughout the country, alternatives definitely have at-home cooks thinking outside the box. And with health on the forefront of many people's minds as well, this cookbook is a must-have for your collection. Next up.
You got a compliment on your Italian.
I saw that.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to call my aunt when this is over and let her know. Thank you. All right, next up. As we continue to look for alternatives to trips that we've had planned this summer and other ways to get outside, these next 2 titles will certainly help. Backpacking and hiking is sure to provide the information needed to hit the trails with confidence. Packed with information ranging from preparing your body and choosing what to bring, to handling the elements and knowing your first aid, this no-nonsense guide has everything you'd look for in a trail buddy, and its travel-friendly size in print, 6x9, and ebook availability means it fits in any backpack. Next, your well-being garden. Explore the fascinating science behind how green spaces and gardening, the design, the plant, and the physical activity of gardening can impact positively on your well-being. Then use this newfound knowledge to evolve your own outdoor space into a mind and body nurturing environment. The same principles apply to a small balcony, a large suburban or country garden, or a shared community garden. The way you design your garden and the plant choices you make can impact your psyche, your well-being and stress levels, your immune and cardiovascular systems, and your engagement and contact with nature at a primal level. It can help neutralize pollution from noise, pollens, exhaust fumes, particles, and gases, and help reduce your household energy and water consumption. Research in recent years has shown tangible benefits from the act of gardening and from contact with green spaces. It can counteract obesity, nature deficit disorder, and depression. With your well-being garden, understand the science and how you can use it, and your garden will truly become your paradise. This book is available now. We'll shift gears now, but I wanted to highlight this newest title in our very popular Big Ideas series, the Islam book. This comprehensive, accessible, and authenticated guide to Islam is essential to understanding the world's fastest growing religion. It covers every aspect of the Muslim faith and its history, from the life of the Prophet Muhammad and the teaching of the Quran to Islam in the 21st century. Celebrating the scientific, literary, and artistic achievements of the Islamic Golden Age and the ideas of philosophers and theologians across the centuries, it opens a window to the Islamic world. Clear factual writing offers insight into terms like Sharia law, the Caliphate, and Jihad, Sunni and Shia divisions, and Sufi poetry and music. Images of Islamic art, architecture, calligraphy, and historical artifacts illustrate the articles, while the big ideas, trademark, infographic, and flowcharts explore and explain the central tenets of Islam, such as prayer, fasting, and pilgrimage. Modern issues such as fundamentalism are discussed in context alongside the work of peaceful traditionalists, modernizers, and women's rights campaigners, among others. It's packed with inspiring quotes and bold illustrations and is an invaluable source of information, both for members of one of the world's major religions and readers looking for a clear, unbiased guide to the meaning of this faith. And last but not least, I have included our Spanish language edition of the Ecology book as a reminder of the greater, extensive, and growing Spanish language title list we have at DK. With more than 170 translations available across our children's and adult lists currently, and the growing demand for these editions within the library market, you're sure to find something for your collection. You can find out more on our website, dk.com, or reach out to marketing@dk.com. Can advance the slide, please? Thank you. And this is just a reminder to make sure that you're following DK on social media. We recently launched a US dedicated Instagram account that's at DK Books US, so make sure you're following that account to receive all the latest relevant information, content, and contests coming from us. We've also been working diligently on our website these last few months to add free downloadable content and help your patrons and you out as much as possible. You'll find a new section on dk.com called the Stay Home Hub, accessible from our homepage or the direct URL on the bottom of this slide, where we've been posting activity kits, lesson ideas, and other educational assets on the children's side, as well as recipes, workout tips and tricks, and crafts on the adult side that will help everyone remain engaged while at home. Be sure to check it out and share with your communities. That's all from me. Thanks so much for your time, for all that you do for so many as librarians, and for always being great champions of DK books.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to bring it home, no surprise, I have some audiobook recommendations that relate to all of the great categories that we just learned about. Listen Proud, we have so many fantastic audiobooks that are good for any time, but in celebrating Pride Month, I wanted to point out, if you missed somehow Ann Bossum's incredible award-winning 2015 work, Stonewall, which was unique in that it was one of the few nonfiction accounts of Stonewall written for young people, which is so important, but I think adults will love it too. It's read by the phenomenal Tim Federle, who is an author in his own right, but a fabulous Broadway actor and narrator, and it has a note read by the author. And this got a starred review from School Library Journal. It was one of their top 10 audiobook picks of 2015. But it feels like the other day that this came out, because I remember interviewing Tim when he was in the studio, and it was a real celebratory year for gay marriage, and it was just a really important audiobook on our list that I think should not be forgotten. And if it's missing from your collection, I urge you to check it out. It also won an Earphones Award. I could go on. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. And then a more recent account of Stonewall, The Stonewall Reader, which was a Booklist Editor's Choice audiobook of 2019. It's read by a full cast. It has an outstanding company of voices. Just to name a few: Barbara Rosenblatt, Michael Crouch, Rebecca Lohman, Graham Halstead, Tanaja Jordan. The Booklist gave it a starred review and said that their commanding, sometimes dramatic performances elevate the experiences of those whose words they speak. And what better way to experience the history in such an incredible way than to hear these actors bring it to life. Actually, Jason Bauman, who's the New York Public Library Coordinator of Humanities and LGBTQ Collections, he edited and introduced the volume, which came out of the work he did on a New York Public Library exhibition that he curated. And there were just so many stories that he felt like he couldn't even fit in the exhibition that he felt compelled to put them into a book. And he also did a This Is the Author podcast episode. So if you want to hear more from him, you can check that out. And then just moving along, there were so many to choose from, but Girl Crush is new. It's wonderful. They're saying it's like Leah on the Offbeat meets We Are Okay. It's pitch perfect queer romance about falling in love and never quite falling out of it. And it's read by a Tony Award nominee from The Prom, which you might remember. And this actress, Caitlin Kinnunen, also read on The Prom audiobook, and she reads this as well, and she's just phenomenal. And it's written by Katie Heaney, who's a full-time senior writer for The Cut and a former editor at BuzzFeed. So you might be familiar with her voice, and this is just a wonderful summer listen. And then we're really excited, finally, that we have the Spanish audio edition of Juliet Takes a Breath, which I assume you're familiar with. It was an Amazon Best Young Adult Book of 2019, a People Magazine Best Book of Fall 2019. This will coincide with the Vintage Espanol edition in print, and we're just so thrilled to be bringing the audio to life. And just to quote Lambda Literary, they said, "This is the kind of book that gets the bittersweet pain and longing of growing up exactly right." And of course, it's by Gabby Rivera, who's the Bronx-born queer Puerto Rican babe on a mission. She wrote this. I love her bio. She's a babe on a mission to create the wildest, most fun stories ever. And she's the first Latina to write for Marvel Comics. So just cool. 4 great Listen Proud picks there. DK on audio, Kristen, you knew about this.
Thank you.
I hope librarians knew about this, but just in case you didn't, this is just a great reminder that in 2019, we had 5 audiobooks come out of DK titles, from philosophy to economics to stress to psychology and success. So it's really perfect for library collections, and I urge you to check it out, read by some phenomenal narrators, and a great add-on to the amazing titles Kristen just spoke about. And then finally, how do you even choose for book club, right? I mean, there's so many titles that fit the bill. I did want to point out that we're so thrilled that the sequel to Dear Martin by Nick Stone is coming out in September. It will be read, no surprise, by Dion Graham. And I say no surprise because he's been a frequent voice on Nick Stone's audiobooks when she doesn't read herself, which is something that she also can do incredibly well, which is very impressive for a fiction author. But Dion Graham will be back. And in this, Nick Stone delivers an unflinching look into the flawed practices and silenced voices in the American juvenile justice system. Dion Graham actually won an Audiophile Earphones Award for Dear Martin and got a Booklist starred review. So this will be wonderful for book clubs. I also wanted to point out, if you missed this week, Nick Stone wrote an op-ed in Cosmopolitan. It said, "Don't just read about racism, read stories about Black people living." It was a beautiful piece, and I really urge you to check it out. And then Entertainment Weekly is also running a wonderful conversation between Nick Stone and Kim Johnson, which will be in the July print edition, but you can read it online right now. It's another great conversation that I highly recommend. And then finally, if you've missed, I know we all know Looking for Alaska, we all know John Green. What you might not know is we had a new audiobook released last year read by Will Wheaton. So if this has been on a list of things you or your young patrons have been meaning to read for a long time, this is a great way to take it in and listen to it read by a beloved actor. So check that out too. And then it's audiobook month. I can't believe, I didn't mention that at the other slide, but in case you didn't know, June is audiobook month. We asked you last time, when do you listen? And who would you want to narrate your life story? So these were the top answers: while driving, while cooking, while exercising and running, while gardening. You need Kristen's DK book, and then you can listen while you do that, or while doing puzzles and coloring. So thanks for sharing your answers. It's always fun to hear how people are incorporating reading into different parts of their lives. And then who would you want to narrate your life story? I like these answers: Jim Dale, Barbara Rosenblatt, Michelle Obama, and Morgan Freeman. So this was really fun. Thanks for telling us your audiobook answers, and we hope you'll continue to celebrate Audiobook Month, not just in June, but all the time. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being back. Thank you, Kristen. We look forward to seeing you on July 1st. Wow, summer is flying. We will see you then. Be sure to sign up, and you can check out any episodes that you might have missed at the URL at the bottom of the screen. It's good to see everybody and to fake see everybody who's tuning in, but we know you're there, and we can sense your comments, and we just thank you for tuning in.
Great. And I'll just say one of the reasons that we have a kind of a long break between when we're doing is we're going to be participating in ALA Virtual. So we're taking a break for that. We hope you're signed up for ALA Virtual, where you'll be able to see more buzzes. So that's one of the reasons that it'll be a couple weeks till you see us. So great.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.